Hi, my name is Brian Klein, and I work in the men's ministry, and we are talking about why life is better together. And I have a couple of my men here that I've watched grow in this area of what it means to be better together. And we're going to really just be real and just have a time of just sharing maybe some struggles, maybe some how we grew to understand that doing life as men, it really does work better together. So I have Jason Hasselquist here with me, and also Rich Chandler, and some men that I have grown to love very much, and have watched, seen how they have grown together as brothers in Christ. So, hey guys, thanks for coming. Thanks for joining me here.
So, good afternoon, Brian.
Yeah.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
So let's talk about this a little bit. It's not always an easy thing for men to do, is to invite other men into our lives and to share what is going on. Jason, share with me a little bit about maybe your journey and how you have navigated through this whole part of reaching out to other men and allowing other men to reach out to you.
Well, it's kind of reflecting on even how Rich and I got to know one another, and obviously Forge and things like that. You get to know and recognize people. But we have had the opportunity to go to several Cave Time events and long car rides with a group of guys has a tendency of breaking down barriers.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy to hide behind whatever it is you're hiding behind for a few minutes around a table or in a brief meeting.
But or even on a Sunday morning, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
But when you've got hours and hours on a car ride going to and from an event that gets you pretty excited, the spirit is stirring in you. It also it allows that bond to be formed or strengthened as you spend that time together.
Yeah.
And so as you talk about silly stories and you get to know someone, common interests, common experiences, you begin to realize that you're not alone in some of those experiences because you can have those conversations.
Yeah.
And then if you are struggling with something that is a common struggle, you can have the conversations one-on-one. How did you work through this? What did you do? And so Rich, I'm so thankful to have him here with me because we've had those conversations about tough things in our lives and I guess things that have come up, things that we've been through. And as you get further and further into that, when you are in the midst of a struggle, instead of being afraid to reach out, it's just an honest, hey, I need some help. It's kind of like you need help changing a tire on your car.
Yeah.
You don't have the right wrench. You call Rich the wrench man or something. And but it works well.
Yeah.
But it's not an overnight thing.
No.
It takes a while to get past some of those things that you're, oh man, if I tell him that, is he going to think I'm weird?
Yeah.
You know, am I weird because I'm thinking about this or I'm
Yep.
struggling with this? You have to get over yourself. You have to get over pride, and you have to build that trust before you can really open up and have those conversations.
So Rich, I mean, you go to another church in the community.
Yes.
I mean, let's just kind of throw it out there, and so, but you've been part of the men's ministry here, and all of that. But it's been a growing part for you, as you as well really have had to grow into being able to embrace the fact of inviting men into your life, because that's not where you were a number of years ago. So share with us a little bit about that process for you. And
Sure, Brian. Probably like a lot of men, I don't do real well by myself. I struggle with some anxieties, and I tend to argue with myself quite a bit over what I should do with my time versus what I do, what's easy or what might not be so easy, but it would be the right thing to do. So I can remember several months back sharing that with you, Pastor Brian, and your response was, "Well, who'd you reach out to?" Well, that would have certainly made things a lot easier, but unfortunately, sometimes I don't decide to reach out. So then that internal struggle continues. But I do know that when I do reach out or meet up with a brother and we just get together and talk things through or just spend a day fishing together, it's always better for me just to not be so isolated.
Yeah.
I just this past weekend, actually, I called a friend. Haven't known him all that long, but I knew that he didn't have plans for the weekend, and I was going to be fishing, and no one else wanted to go. My wife didn't want to go with, so I thought, well, I'll invite this guy. And sure enough, we went down to the lake for Friday and Saturday, and it probably helped us both out. We sat and talked quite a bit. We had some fishing, and I just got a text from him today thanking me so much for the time we got to spend together, and then asking me how he can pray for me for the rest of the week. So it's just, out of the blue, you get guys like that in your back, having your back.
Yeah. So guys, that's, it's always cool when you get to that point, but we all have those moments when we feel like we want to do it solo. Right?
Yeah.
So let's just face it, and let's talk about why that is for us as men. Even though Scripture encourages us that we are to do life together and all of that we struggle with that. What are some things that maybe you have seen of yourself of why you want to isolate or why you wanted to go solo? Either one of you. What?
Well, I can recall just last month. It was an early Sunday morning, and my wife had just left for work. And by early, that's like 4:45 in the morning. So I've got plenty of time to reflect on the day. I can, go online. I can watch TV. I could open my Bible and read the Word. And sometimes the easiest thing to do is not what I should be doing. And I was just, it seems weird, but I was actually having a conversation with myself over what I should be doing and what I should do that Sunday morning, because I had several hours before church started. And I wish I could say that I had made the decision to grab my Bible and read it, but instead the decision was just to go surf the internet. And as I'm reaching for my phone, it jingles, and here's a text from Jason. Hey guys, just reaching out to. I don't remember exactly what the text was, but
he was just text was.
Sure. So it's been about 2 months ago now. Got some tough news. I lost my job, and as a guy, that's a tough thing to get anyway. It's kind of a punch in the gut. I was not expecting it. As you're kind of working through that, and what do you do? And you start to question yourself a lot of, just, am I not good enough? Did I screw up? Where is,
Start listening to those voices,
yeah,
right?
the guilt and the shame, and you're not
Yeah.
worthy, and you're a failure. And a lot of those things were just kind of beating me over the head that morning. And as I kind of kept hearing them, or they kept coming back around, I was like, you know what? I'm reaching out to the guys. I sent a note to several of my brothers and said, I'm struggling this morning. I feel like I'm getting my butt kicked.
So here's the deal, just to kind of encapsulate this. Here's two men in your own homes having a personal battle going on inside.
Yep.
Okay. And not knowing exactly how you're going to navigate through this, right? Rich battling with, hey, I think I'll just surf the internet. Don't know where it's going to go, but could be maybe not so bad, could be bad. Jason's sitting there in his home thinking, oh man, I'm feeling like a loser. I'm getting very discouraged, despondent, all of that. And so Rich is ready to put his phone down. It buzzes because you're willing to do what?
I only got over myself and just reached out. I admitted that I was struggling.
Yeah.
I admitted that I needed my guys around me because
Yeah.
I couldn't do it myself.
Yeah. So you took the initiative to, if I remember right, you said you had it typed up.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. I was just gonna say, I didn't just go, "Hey, I'm sending a note" and push send. I typed it out and I looked at it and I put the phone down and I picked it up and I set it down. And no, I'm gonna delete it. No, I should send it. I had to fight with myself to even hit send.
Yeah.
Like, geez, the guys don't really need to hear that this is, it's under my skin today. They don't have time for this. They don't need. I mean, I don't really need to send it. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
And I went back and forth, round and round in my own mind before
Yeah.
I finally, you know what? I need to press send. I need to reach out.
Yeah. Yeah. So just the simple pushing of the send, it was the very thing that by you sending that out, not only was going to help you,
Mm-hmm.
but it ended up helping another brother.
Right.
So tell me, Rich, what happened when the phone buzzed?
Got the message from Jason that he was having his own issues and reaching out for prayer, and it was just the perfect timing. So I think we may have started just a little text chat back and forth, and just that feeling of another, even though, like you mentioned, Brian, we're in our own homes, we were no longer isolated.
Yeah.
And it was just a world of difference.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember, because I was in the loop with that. I remember getting the text, and I remember Jason going, "Hey, I'm discouraged. I'm really struggling because I haven't found a job yet. Could use some prayer." And then I remember your text, Rich, said, "Perfect timing." And I'm thinking, what the world? Perfect timing. Not knowing at that time that you could have been going down a path that would have been unhealthy for you. What you were saying was, I was wrestling and I was ready to go down a path, but because you reached out, it set me on a different course. And then what happened? That morning you said, "Hey, I'm coming into church. I'm going to worship with you guys.
Yeah.
I've got to share with you how God intervened here."
I had to go to church twice that day.
Twice.
Had to go to my church. Had to go to my church in the morning and then come over here at 11.
So boy, that is a different course, right? I mean, that was going from down the journey that the enemy had planned out for you, but all of a sudden getting a recalculating access and getting on a different path, a different direction.
Right.
So, this is all about helping men, helping brothers and sisters in our church, in our community, understanding that in these times, we are all better together than we ever are going solo, okay? Iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. And sometimes it's just the simple text. We have that, and even in the text, it still has to be sent. It has to be sent. You have to cross that line. You have to be able to take the initiative to humble yourself and allow another man or another person into your life. And that's a beauty of you guys' this story. And I think it's a story that's worthy of sharing and worthy of letting other people know that in men's ministry and throughout the church, in life group ministry, we all are all better together. And we may listen to all the voices that give us all the reason, right? Jason, you were listening to voices, don't send it. You know, Rich, you were talking to you're gonna have an argument with yourself, right?
It didn't come to blows, but it was close.
You're having arguments with yourself. So Scripture says in 1 Peter 5, our adversary, the enemy, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. Okay, seeking someone to devour. And what a lion does is he looks for his prey to be isolated, and then he goes after the attack. Okay, but if that prey gets in with the herd, less chance of the enemy having the attack. And that's the beauty. That's the beauty. So let's not go solo.
That's right.
Let's not go solo. Because life is better together. Even in the points where we all of a sudden want to talk ourselves out of sharing that with another. Any last thoughts from either of you? What would you say to anybody that's listening here of that may be just kind of like, man, I don't know if that's me. I just don't know if I can get to that point. I'd like to. What would you want to say to them to get to a point of taking that step?
I'd say those voices that are saying that's really not me are the same voices that are going to say, don't be a bother to that person. You don't want to interrupt their morning. Why do you want to lay your troubles on somebody else? And those are the enemy trying to keep you isolated, to keep the attack going. So don't listen to that voice. Reach out.
That's a good word, Rich. How about you, Jason?
Get over yourself.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah,
I mean, for me personally, I know pride is a problem, has been. The good Lord's been working on me big time on that.
Yeah.
And part and parcel with that is sometimes it's not about me. This is a perfect example, this story. It wasn't about me in the end. It just happened that the timing helped somebody else. I can't write that script. I can't make that happen.
Yeah.
I just had to get over myself and say, okay, I can do that. I can do my part. God,
Yep.
I'm going to show up. You show off.
Yeah. You know, that's a really good word, Jason, as well. And, pride has been our issue from the beginning of fall.
Oh, yeah.
There's not a one of us that doesn't have it. And the enemy knows how to work that pride. He really does. He knows how to talk us into our pride. And so, hey, thank you guys. Thank you guys for taking the time. Thank you for being vulnerable, sharing your story. And we're hoping that maybe this has encouraged you as you've been thinking about not being lost in the crowd, but known in community. We don't want you to be lost. We don't want you to be solo. We love for you to be with a group of men or a group of ladies or in a mixed group, in a life group, and doing life better together, because that's the way God designed it to be. So thanks a lot. Thanks for your time. Guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing. All right. Take
Can we
care.
get our ice cream and sprinkles now?
Yes, you may.